Following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah, go Cowboys! This is Mick Shots.
Streaming live on DallasCowboys.com and the official Dallas Cowboys app.
Now, here are Bill Jones, Everson Walls, and Mickey Spagnola.
Producer Supreme. Even on a Tuesday, he knows when it's a fabulous football fight song Friday, our final show before game day on Thursday night.
I'm in no mood to pick a game or pick a person to click.
That's right. We got to pick the game and our picks to click today.
We'll do
It's Friday here at the Star on a Tuesday inside the SWBC podcast studio. Mick Shots brought to you by Miller Lite.
We can do that tomorrow.
Everson Walls has an excused absence today.
Yes, sir.
A very good one.
Yes, he does have a very fine reason for not being here. And Nate Newton is the sergeant at arms here.
I'm the pick
you're the one. You're the one that's getting us in order today,
Yeah.
Nate. Okay, because you were in here before anybody else was, because you are fired up for some football.
Oh yes.
Turn this thing around, right?
Yes. Well, we 3-0.
Well, we should be 3-0, right?
Do what?
We're 3-0. I'm just saying. In my mind, we're 3-0.
Okay.
I could have found a way for us to win each one of those games. Is what I'm trying to say. But we're 1-2 in reality.
Okay. I can't wait to hear how we were going to win those last two.
I could agree with you on the last game. I don't know. You're going to have to try hard to find a way to beat the Saints.
Hey,
the way they played.
But I started this season with a mindset that this would be a soft rebuild, and I thought that we would struggle early, and we are struggling. But I just got so much belief in what McCarthy and the other coaches can do if the players will just play along. Just believe. Just prepare. Be competitive. And after 8 games, you could be 4-4 easily. I just believe that you have to compete.
And that's not a horrible thing. With the schedule, and as long as this season is.
It's a long season. Mm-hmm. Then at the end of the year, you can make a run.
I got one more thing.
You can make a run.
Got one more thing to add to your list of things that they need to do.
Okay.
Keep your mouth shut.
Mickey. Wow, if we do that, we won't have a show.
Not you. I could never shut your mouth.
Oh no, I could never shut.
You were staring.
Who would have a problem closing his mouth?
That's right.
Yes.
The guy about to talk right now.
They're too much talking.
Yes, sir, it is.
Too much bitching.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we're getting serious now.
Yes, sir. God forgive him. You know not what he does. I tell you like this. I agree, but the coaches have to stop that now. It's not another player that can walk up, because these are grown men, and you can knock heads in the wrong way.
Right.
So it is time for the coach not to call a team meeting to save the season, but to call a team meeting and say, this is how we conduct ourselves. And if we don't conduct ourselves, I can't hit you in the head for a lot, but what all the league will allow me to do, I will start doing. And that's all you can do. And hope that these guys can understand that regardless of whether you think a guy's doing his job or not, that is not for you to decide. That is for the coaches and ownership to decide. And that's where we get a little out of hand when we empower players. This is what you get.
Well, it's Tuesday, 2 days after a loss.
Yes.
2 days before a game.
Yes.
And on Mick Shots, we can talk all about, okay, this you can make a run if you're 4-4
right.
at midseason, whatever. They got to be concerned about being 2-2 on Thursday night
Yes, sir.
at midnight.
Exactly.
Yes, sir.
And
I agree.
And what I'm going to write for tomorrow is it sounds silly 4 games into the season, right? Mm-hmm. This is a pivotal game.
Yes, it is.
There's a big difference between
the biggest game of the season is Thursday night.
There's a big difference between 2-2 and 1-3.
1-3, and you're going to Pittsburgh next week, and Pittsburgh plays Indy this week. They're liable to be 4-0,
and
playing at home with one of the best defenses.
And what's
in the
after
league.
that?
And then you got Detroit after that.
And what's after that?
And then you got a bye week, and then you got at San Francisco, and then you got at Atlanta, and then you got Philadelphia, then you got Houston, and oh, by the way, to start Thanksgiving week, you now have Jayden Daniels and the Washington Commanders on the road.
Which,
before playing against the Giants again.
You guys quickly got away
from
what you said
about 30
seconds ago. Wow.
Yeah,
but that's because you know the reason I did that? You know the reason I did that?
Why?
Because I wanted to talk about Jayden Daniels last night. And oh, by the way,
that was, and I watched a lot of his LSU games, right? It's the best game I've seen him play. And I know he won a Heisman, but he won a Heisman with his feet more so than his ability to stay composed in the pocket and throw the ball.
And throw
I did not see a lot of
complete 91.3% of his passes, 21 out of 23 last
Even
night.
he told a young lady after the game, he said, wow. He said, that's unreal.
Which is an NFL rookie record.
Yeah.
Broke Dax.
Yes. You know, if it wasn't an NFC East team, I would say congratulations, but I really don't care. I have no love for the NFC East, especially during the season. But after the season, you'll hear me brag.
I will say this: after watching him last night, you know, some of the passes he completed at LSU on his highlight film leading up to the draft, I was like, I think this film appears to be grainy. How do you complete that ball? Okay.
Right.
Well, that touchdown pass he threw at the end of the game to Terry McLaurin with pressure, guy in his face, he was falling backwards, and he put it exactly where he needed to put it in the right corner of the end zone and McLaurin had a great catch on the sideline.
Just how he put the first one.
And there were a bunch of them at LSU that were like that. Although people talked about the way he ran the ball so much. And I bring that up to say, and then when you get to know him or see his interviews and how humble he is and so forth, that decision between, and this is nothing against Caleb Williams, but that decision between Caleb Williams and Jayden Daniels, I can see where a team would go Jayden Daniels instead as the number one pick. Now, Caleb went number one to Chicago.
The thing I admired about this kid, because this is the first time I ever watched him really, was the softness in which he gave it to his offensive lineman for the TD.
Which, by the way, Trent Scott, who caught the touchdown pass, he's a 30-year-old journeyman offensive lineman.
Yes.
He does have 22 starts in his career, but he came in as the tackle eligible, and he is from Grambling State University.
And guess what? He did not forget to say, hey, ref, I'm in the game.
There you go. That's right.
That's good.
That's right.
But
back
to something more important. Stop with the I don't like talking about the NFC East unless it's us, the Cowboys. So what do you guys have exciting to say about the Cowboys?
Well, that gets back to the importance of this game against the Giants on Thursday night.
To get to 2-2 where this discussion started.
Because the loser of this game is going to be in the cellar looking up at the rest of the division.
But worse than that, the yapping will continue then. And the excuses for being where you are will continue. And I thought Jerry did a good job of talking about when he was asked about everybody saying this, that, not prepared. And he basically said those are all the cliches you usually use. And that there has never been a team or an effort that at some point during that stretch you didn't have to have a come to Jesus meeting. And I was thinking the same thing exactly. And he's right, because no one ever says we didn't play well enough, right? Or we weren't good enough, they say, well, we didn't study enough, or we didn't prepare enough, or whatever other excuse extraneous you want to use. Sometimes you just get your ass beat, and that's what happened.
And 2 times in one game, 2 times in one season that quick, something is not going on right, and it's not for me to figure out as a fan, as an analyst or whatever.
You're
that's
a new
part
journalist.
Of my job.
What are you talking
but
about?
No, I'm just saying, as a fan, I won't be able to figure it out. As an ex-player, I got an idea of what's going on, but it's your job, Mick. It's my job, Bill, and to try to figure it out for the fans and bring it and present it in a way that's, the right way. But players are going to be players. And the only way players don't moan, don't groan, don't do this is you got to stop it at the top. If you don't ever stop it at the top, then you're going to have what we saw these last 2 games where guys are empowering themselves. I can't tell you what was going on in number 11's head during the game. I can't tell you what's going on in CD Lamb's head, what made him go as deep as he went with how he handled himself. You just don't know. It's up to you guys who go in that locker room to find out for us. But the coaches has to stop that, because now you're infecting younger players, and that is setting a bad example of how you handle yourself. It's only one Dak. And what I mean by that, he is that guy who's going to be the ultimate professional regardless of what happens. Who else stood at that microphone besides him and the head coach handling themselves the way they did? Everybody else was around, well, hero ball. No, worry about yourself. Coach Johnson, he came in. Coach Landry, you knew better. Coach Johnson came in. We don't talk about other guys' performance. Talk about your own performance. If you talk about your own performance, you will find out that you're not going to criticize yourself as much as you will another guy. Talk about your own performance. What did you do? Did you light the stat sheet up? Did you help your team get back in this situation to win? Talk about your own. And then when you clean your own house and be the best you can be and be that star, then you can talk about others.
What was Jerry talking about on the radio this morning?
Well,
anything of note come out of it?
What do you call
outside
it?
of what you're just
a
referring
myriad
to?
of things. Let's see here.
I saw one thing.
How much of this?
I saw one tweet. Those are your notes from Jerry talking on the radio this morning?
Transcriptions.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Should we go to break first?
Just chop it down to what we need to hear.
One of the things he said it's pretty apparent we have some glaring areas we can get better at, and I think we will. And he wanted to point out that last year, after 5 games, this team was 2-3 and finished 12-5. He said accountability is what it calls for. It's what he was referencing what you said. And he said, just to remind you, we play 17 games. So that was an answer to another question. He said, I liked the way Mozzie Smith responded last week after having the back problem, and thought he played one of his better games. Now, it wasn't perfect by any means. Nothing in the middle was perfect. But he did finish with 3 tackles. And I'll tell you what, there's been a lot of games he's zeroed out. So he kind of pointed that out.
And by the way, as far as Mozzie's concerned, Nate, if he is taking up 2 offensive linemen, then he's doing his job, right?
Yeah, the majority of the time. If he's got 2 guys truly occupied, so that should give your linebacker at least a more than 50% chance to be in or near the play. Yes, the thing with Mozzie, what he has to do, and if he do this repeatedly, get off the snap, occupy, I'm talking about versus run, occupy 2 guys and don't let them knock you back. Mm-hmm. It's one thing to occupy 2 guys and 5 yards back. It's another thing to occupy two guys and only get moved a yard or two. Now you making hay because them linebackers are coming downhill. They're also moving lateral, but they are coming downhill.
Otherwise, they got to work. They got to work around you getting pushed back 5 yards, and then the ball carrier's 5 yards downfield by the time they get to him.
Yes. So yes, sir. Thank you.
He also was told that Jason Garrett on the pregame show last night said the Cowboys are not a physical football team. Everybody understands it, and now you're going to have to go in and run the ball against them. No shocking revelation, right? Jerry's response was, Bill Parcells would always say, you are what your record says you are, and I think that's what we are today. We are 1-2, and that's where we are. The real issue is what can we do against New York?
That's it.
And I thought that hit it right on the head, right? And he said we have a lot to work on to get better. And this is what kind of made me think even before the season started. Because I think there was just this assumption that, well, 12-5, let's go. Think about this. The amount of young guys they're counting on, right? What are the two most important positions on the offensive line?
Yeah, center and left guard. Center and left
tackle, right? And you got two rookies there.
Yes.
One guy playing the position for the first time, the other guy moving to the other side. If you look at the wide receiver group, your lead guy was not there all summer, and the guy that's the third guy is the first time he's ever been the third guy if we count Tolbert being the third guy. After that, besides Cooks, everybody else is getting more snaps than they've ever had in the NFL. Turpin, Jalen Brooks. You're starting a second-year fullback who is starting to excel maybe more than the other running back, and the starting running back has never been, Rico Dowdle has never been the starting running back before. On defense, the way they started that game, they might as well had two rookies out there playing linebacker, right? Overshawn's like a rookie. Leofau, he is a rookie. You had a fifth-round draft choice rookie at cornerback. They had a lot. They're relying on a lot of young guys.
It's a soft rebuild. Mm-hmm. And call it what it is. They're trying to fix a team, and what I mean by that is you either got guys that are 6 years into the league, or you got guys that are 3 and beneath. You have no guys that you can say, oh, I suck a receiver. It's his 4th year. This is our interior line. You have Osa, 5 years in?
Well, he's
6 years in?
He's in his 4th year.
5th year in.
Yeah.
So you got guys that's over the scales, but are not great players. We don't have no 3 to 5 or 6 year players that are great. We
Dexter
have
Lawrence.
Yes, we have Parsons, and then we have a bunch of guys that's predicated on living off Parsons. That's our secondary. We have great DBs who are very opportunistic, but they need a pass rush. We cannot stop the run, so we would never generate that pass rush. So it's Parsons and only Parsons on defense. CeeDee Lamb is it. He is the guy that moves the safeties, that moves the outside linebackers, that brings the double coverage and nickel. So you have guys that are trying to grow within the system and learn it. That's why I'm not finna get bent out of shape about this season. If I come on y'all show anymore, y'all gonna hear me say compete, prepare, compete, because that is what this season's gonna bring. That is what this season's gonna bring, and it's gonna show up. It's going to show up against these Giants. Same thing.
And by the way, you go across the league, and everybody, every team across the league is going through the same stuff.
Yes, at least over half of them.
That's right.
At least over half of them.
In fact, I heard someone talking today. Who's the worst team in the league right now? Last week it was Carolina. And
Yeah.
then Carolina with Andy
Yes.
Dalton at quarterback goes to Vegas and blew them out of their own stadium.
Now it's
It's Jacksonville. Yeah, and
maybe Cincinnati.
right, and
No.
Tennessee.
They're
you
0-3. I know.
Look at their quarterback.
Guess what?
All right, exactly. They got Joe Burrow at quarterback. Okay.
There are 15 teams in the league that are 1-2.
Yes.
15.
Yes.
That's half the league.
Yes.
Look at the number of 0-2 teams who won this weekend. They went from 9 winless teams to like 2 left now.
Yes.
2 or 3.
Seven teams are one just changed it overnight.
Yeah, went from winless to now they got a win and now they got hope.
And only 8 teams 2-1.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's only one game different.
The point being, every other team in the league's in the same boat you are, and so that's why you have to just compete every single week.
And that's why I'm going to be the guy that says the same thing over and over and over. You know, I don't change. I try to sometimes make it a joke. Sometimes I try to be serious. But what you have here right now is not a coach's issue. Don't make it a coach's issue. If anything, these coaches need to be solidified so these players will know what is going on. You don't let the inmates take over. You just don't do it. That's why they had to close the place in San Francisco, because people couldn't escape, and all this Alcatraz, and now they started escape starting with Clint Eastwood. So they had to close it. Solidify these coaches.
Contract extension.
No, but you don't need in 4 weeks from now if this thing has it right. See, some teams are not allowed to be an even team. Like we saying 2-2. Our fans are not going to remember that we beat New York, that we beat Cleveland. Now because New York has beat Cleveland, everybody's beating Cleveland. Uh-huh. So when we beat New York, all they're beating is Cleveland. So I'm that fan. I am a Cowboy fan. So I know how we think. So even ain't going to never satisfy us. It's always going to be, we got to be 3 or 4 games above the league, above the fray. And so until we get there, if we get there, I'm going to have to keep keeping folks off that ledge, man. I got millions want to go on that ledge, but I'm not going to let you, because this team is ultra young. And our left tackle has to learn how to play it. Our center has to learn how to play it. And as the season go on, one of these guys will get better. I don't know if both, but one of these guys will get better.
All right, and when we come back here on Mix Shots, how do these guys match up with the guys they're going to face in New Jersey on Thursday night?
Hey, Cowboy fans, I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. But lately, I've been learning a new game, crypto. Sound confusing? Don't worry, even us pros were rookies in crypto once. That's why I trust blockchain.com. They make crypto easy. No confusing jargon, just the tools to help you win.
Prescott keeps it, slides with a first down.
Invest like your icons, where everyone is a rookie in crypto with blockchain.com.
Perfect throw, my goodness. Wow, did he ever thread the needle.
Visit blockchain.com/cowboys to get started.
Miller Lite is brewed with great taste and only great taste.
The Miller Brewing Company would like to issue a correction. Miller Lite is brewed to be less filling. What are you doing here?
Miller Lite tastes great.
Look, I'm just reading the script. It says less filling.
That's not what my script says.
Well, mine says...
We'd like to apologize for the previous announcers. Miller Lite is in fact less filling and tastes great. Time to shine, legal guy.
Celebrate responsibly. Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Beer. 96 calories and 3.2 grams carbs per 12 ounces. Fewer calories and carbs than premium regular beer.
Star Sports Tours is the only official fan travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys, offering exclusive game weekend travel packages with pre-game sideline access and photo ops with current players, cheerleaders, and Cowboy legends. You want to stay at a team hotel, attend the best tailgate party in Texas, tour the Star, and talk X's and O's with me, Everson Walls? With Star Sports Tours, you can. Visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today.
The Medal of Honor is our country's highest military award for valor in combat. More than 40 million individuals have served in the armed forces since the Civil War. Fewer than 4,000 have received the Medal of Honor. The National Medal of Honor Museum will be a place to preserve these legacies and inspire America. It's being built right next door to the Dallas Cowboys in Texas. Help us honor our country's greatest heroes. Learn more and get involved at mohmuseum.org.
Back to Mick Shots.
The Cowboys take on the Steelers in Pittsburgh on October 6th, so we're hosting a free watch party presented by 7-Eleven. Join us at the Miller Lighthouse at AT&T Stadium to watch the game with the Cowboys Nation. Cue Thunderstruck because the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders are performing, and Rowdy will be there too. Watch the game, grab a Slurpee, and cheer loud. Get your free tickets at dallascowboys.com/watch party. Grab a Slurpee.
That's a week from Saturday?
Yes.
Okay. Or is it the watch party on Sunday, game day? Is that what it is? I'm sorry, I wasn't listening.
October 6th.
Okay.
Game day.
Or game day.
And it's at the Miller Lighthouse that has lots of Slurpees.
Okay. Very good. All right. Thursday night, Cowboys play the Giants.
Let's not get ahead.
How do the Cowboys match up with the Giants? From a talent standpoint, how do the Cowboys match up with the Giants?
The Giants run a 3-4 defense if that's where we're starting.
Yes.
They got a guy in the middle of their defense, Dexter Lawrence and Rakeem Roaches.
Nunez Roaches, yes.
They're stout.
Is that the guy I forgot last year?
And they're hard to move.
Dexter Lawrence is one of the best in the league.
Yes.
He may be the best in that position in the league.
They only score 15 points, but they only give up 21.3 points. They're not playing, man. They rally to the ball.
They sacked Deshaun Watson eight times last week.
I don't put much into that because I have nothing for Sean.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing. Very good team that's getting abused by a quarterback. But anyway.
You talk about the interior guys. How about the edge guys? From one of the guys that they acquired is Brian Burns.
Yeah, but I haven't seen enough tape. You know, I'm going off stats. I've seen a little bit of tape of their defense. They seem to be sound. They seem to rally to the football and make plays. I think they have 2 interceptions, and 1 interception. So I haven't seen enough to just tell you that this team is, I know defensively they are nice. Offensively, it's still a question out on Mr. Jones. So, but
Cowboys would love to have that Dexter Lawrence inside, right?
Yes, I mean then you can run a 3-4. Yeah, you can run that thing.
Okay,
you can run anything you want if he's inside.
Okay, Cowboys have on the edge, of course, they got Micah and DeMarcus Lawrence.
Yes.
Okay. The Giants have Brian Burns, who they paid 5 years, $141 million, $76 million guaranteed. They traded for him in the offseason, and he had 8 sacks last year for Carolina.
Yes, and
he was a former first-round pick, 16th overall selection. He's the real deal.
What is his size?
He is 6'3", 250 pounds. Okay, on the other side, you got Kayvon Thibodeau.
Yes, sir.
Who I know these guys had ranked as the top player in the draft coming out 2 years ago in 2022.
He's finally starting to come around.
And he had 11 and a half sacks last year. He was the 5th pick in the draft. Mm-hmm. He's another guy. He's 6'5", 258 pounds. These are exactly what you're looking for when you're drafting an edge rusher.
Yes.
Okay, the long, angular guys who can athletic. Yes. That's exact. And then they also have Azeez Ojulari, who's 6'3", 240 pounds, out of Georgia, who got a lot of snaps in the game the other day against Cleveland. And the 8 sacks that they had, there weren't like 3.5 from one guy.
Right.
It was like 7 different players contributed in 8 sacks. Okay.
Yes. Even a big guy in the middle has 3. Even Dexter has 3 sacks.
He's tied for the team lead.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. They've got a sub-package guy, real quick, out of SMU, who they signed as a college free agent this year, Elijah Chapman. He had a sack last week. and or 2 days ago against Deshaun Watson. He goes 5'11", 278 pounds, and this guy, he's strong as can be, but he is one of the sub-package guys that you got to deal with when they have he'll be an inside rusher as well. I mean, so they have it's just interesting because he's an SMU guy right in our backyard here, and they.
I mean, a short guy that big and that smart to go to SMU. Wow, he's full of information, isn't he?
Well, the other guy that's really stood out from a stats standpoint as I'm looking here is Okereke. Is that how you say it? Okereke. He leads them in tackles, 19, sack and a half. He's got 2 tackles for losses, 2 quarterback hits, a forced fumble. He's been awfully active.
Leading tackler last year, started 17 games, had 4 forced fumbles, 10 passes defense, 2 interceptions.
As an inside linebacker.
As an inside linebacker, yes.
And that's what I'm saying. And looking at these guys, they line up, they play hard, they got a stud in the middle, they got a stud on the outside, with 2 studs on the outside with Thibodeau and Burns. They are finding their stride.
That's right.
As we find ours, trying to find a stride.
Last year they drafted a cornerback in the first round, Tay Banks. They drafted another one in the 3rd round this year, Drew Phillips. They've got a bigger corner on the other side in Cordell Flott. This Jason Pinnock, their safety is a playmaker type, and in fact, he's already has 3 sacks. They bring him a lot. In 3 games, he's got 3 sacks. And by the way, he was talking some noise this week about the Cowboys dominating the Giants, and had a quote that's making the rounds about that.
The thing that everybody laughed about last week, who would be the most desperate team? And so now we know the Cowboys are the most desperate team. But this is what we have to understand. The Giants are not our pharmaceutical supplier now. Mm-hmm. Because if we'd have won, we'd be like, oh man, they're going to fix all our needs. We got too many needs, like they have a lot of needs.
We just went through what to expect on their defensive side.
Yes.
The difference maker for them is their first-round draft pick.
Yeah, number one.
Number 1.
Neighbors.
Malik Neighbors.
And
they now have a CD Lamb at wide receiver.
Yes.
In Malik Neighbors, who went off against Cleveland in the first half the other day, had 2 touchdowns in the first half. One of the catches he made on the sideline was Odell Beckham-like, unreal as far as –
yes.
And they were comparing him to Odell Beckham because he's with the Giants and he's at LSU. But he was those passes that Jayden Phillips was throwing last year, Malik Neighbors was on the receiving end of a lot of them.
And they have – please listen to me. If you don't check him, this Devin Singletary
Devin Singletary.
Divine Singletary. I'm telling you, he does a lot for these Giants. He is kind of like, I know that the greatness left and the other kid and went to Philadelphia, but this guy catches balls out of the backfield. He runs with authority. He's got the speed to get away from you, and he gets everything out of every run. He gets everything out of every run. So when you come up and tackle him, bring him down. He gets it out of every run now. He has about over 190, 170 yards rushing. He gets it out of every play, man.
197.
Yes, so he gets it, man.
And he's averaging 4.7 a carry.
Yes. So the little bit of film that I've watched, these are not last year's Giants because their offensive line, even against Cleveland, is okay. Last year, they did not seem like they knew who to block and how to go about doing it. They have a little more uniformity to them this year, a little more continuity from what I've seen, the little bit of film I've seen. So this is not our last year Giants who fell apart. With Jones, it was beginning to fall apart when Jones was there, but they fell apart when Jones left. This kid had a bad first game, Jones. They're like, oh, my God, what is he doing? But he's slowly starting to find his rhythm and pick it up. I believe in Brian Daboll.
Brian Daboll.
I believe in him.
And he's a play caller now.
I like him.
Mm-hmm.
I like him.
He was at Buffalo before. He was his third year as the head coach with the Giants.
Yeah,
and he
I like
was a play caller in Buffalo, and now he's calling plays with the Giants.
So we as a team, we live and die on the pursuit of pass rush. Let that drive you to put them in bad situations. First down is the biggest down of the Cowboys' life. For the last 2 games, I don't know the stat, but evidently first down is not treating the Cowboys' defensive line well.
Well, the great thing for the Cowboys' defense, coming off what they did last couple of weeks or whatever, is they can very quickly, you have to do it quickly this week because there's got no time, but all you got to do is go see the Giants' offensive approach against the Browns this week.
Yes.
And the Browns had one of the best defenses in the league, ranked number 1 last year, and they're an aggressive defense, likes to come after the quarterback. Cowboys, same type aggressive defense up front, where you got guys that are trying to be Superman and get to the quarterback.
Don't join in, Bill. Please don't join in.
Look at the number of screen passes that the Giants threw against the Browns last week to Devin Singletary.
Oh man!
And
he ate them alive.
There's going to be, and especially in a short week, as you know, going into the short week, when you're planning, you can't do much more with your game plan. You're basically going with what you've already installed. You're not doing any tricking things up. You almost have the same game plan for 2 straight games.
Yes.
And so if you just study what they did against Cleveland's defense, they're going to try to do the same stuff against Dallas's defense, and also getting the ball to Malik Neighbors, because what they did with Malik Neighbors, they lined him up on the left side where he wasn't going up against Denzel Ward. He was going up against Emerson instead, and a lot of one-on-one stuff. And one of his touchdowns, it was down in the red zone. It was zone coverage. They just let him go free where nobody was within 5 yards of him. But they're going to try to do the same thing to Kalen Carson. Now, what's Carson's health?
Put Diggs over there.
Okay. What's Carson's health?
Well, we'll find out today.
Okay, because he's dealing with a shoulder
injury. But he played through it. But
right.
And to answer your question about first down, the last 2 opponents, they gained 429 yards on 58 first down snaps.
See, I'm telling you, first down.
They averaged
down.
7.5 yards a snap on first down.
I'm telling you,
So you can't get to your pass rush
if you're
doing that.
This league. Not this year early. You check the whole league. Not this year, but this league. Any coordinator will tell you, second in anything that's like 2nd and 4, we'll run the ball. 2nd and 5, they throwing the ball. So all you have to do is make sure they gain no more than 2 or 3 yards, because then 60% of the time they're gonna throw the ball. So you can get after them. But if it's 2nd and 4, maybe 2nd and 5. I'm talking about the Cowboys. You set up to get ran on, because we'll move the change and stay manageable.
That's why first down yardage is
first down is
because then you got
big.
2 downs to pick up 5 yards.
Yeah, So against us, now maybe against the Giants, they may not feel that way. If you're playing against this team we just played, you may not feel that way.
If they're watching any film of the Cowboys the last 2 weeks, they're running the ball on first down, second down, third down.
Yes, until the Cowboys stop it.
That's right.
But especially on first down. First down has not been good to us.
All right, we got our picks when we come back here on Mick Shots in just a moment.
We win in the game.
There you go.
Star Sports Tours is the only official fan travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys, offering exclusive game weekend travel packages with pre-game sideline access and photo ops with current players, cheerleaders, and Cowboy legends. You want to stay at a team hotel, attend the best tailgate party in Texas, tour the Star, and talk X's and O's with me, Everson Walls? With Star Sports Tours, you can. Visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today.
Hey, Cowboy fans, I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. But lately, I've been learning a new game, crypto. Sound confusing? Don't worry, even us pros were rookies in crypto once. That's why I trust blockchain.com. They make crypto easy. No confusing jargon, just the tools to help you win.
Prescott keeps it, slides with a first down.
Invest like your icons, where everyone is a rookie in crypto with blockchain.com.
Perfect throw, my goodness. Wow, did he ever thread the needle.
Visit blockchain.com/Cowboys to get started.
Miller Lite is brewed with great taste and only great taste.
The Miller Brewing Company would like to issue a correction. Miller Lite is brewed to be less filling. What are you doing here?
Miller Lite tastes great.
Look, I'm just reading the script. It says less filling.
That's not what my script says.
Well, mine says.
We'd like to apologize for the previous announcers. Miller Lite is in fact less filling and tastes great. Time to shine, legal guy.
Celebrate responsibly. Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Beer. 96 calories and 3.2 grams carbs per 12 ounces. Fewer calories and carbs than premium regular beer.
The Medal of Honor is our country's highest military award for valor in combat. More than 40 million individuals have served in the armed forces since the Civil War. Fewer than 4,000 have received the Medal of Honor. The National Medal of Honor Museum will be a place to preserve these legacies and inspire America. It's being built right next door to the Dallas Cowboys in Texas. Help us honor our country's greatest heroes. Learn more and get involved at mohmuseum.org.
Back to Mick Shots.
Frisco Oktoberfest returns for its 5th annual celebration at the Star in Frisco on Saturday, October 5th from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. Enjoy traditional Oktoberfest games, live music, and entertainment all day. Join the Star in Frisco for a fun day of festive fun. I'm sorry. It was a full day of festive fun. I got ahead of myself.
All right, very good.
Full day of festive fun.
Everson will be back on Friday, is that right? We have a show Friday,
Supposed to
day
be.
after,
We're
right?
supposed to.
Okay. So it's a travel day for the team tomorrow.
Right.
So there's no show tomorrow. It's game day on Thursday.
Game day on Thursday.
And then we're back on Friday. So it's time to make picks here. And I don't think that we reviewed our picks from Sunday.
I bet we didn't
against
do very
Baltimore. Well, who was your pick to click? I think Everson's pick to click was Jake Ferguson, and he actually, Jake Ferguson had a nice comeback game after being out the week before.
I took, I think, Overshown.
Okay.
You did.
All right, Producer Supreme confirms that. Producer Supreme, I can't remember. Who did I pick as my pick to click?
Your pick was Brandon Aubrey.
Oh, that's right.
Did he do anything in particular?
I think I predicted he would have a 67-yard field goal.
He was only 2 yards short of that.
2 yards short.
I'm telling you, he needs to back up to set that
2
record.
yards off.
Man, I don't know why I just can't get pumped up for kicks.
Now,
the GOAT definitely was on the field that day.
The problem was I said that Brandon Aubrey would have a 67-yard field goal to win the game 23-20. So I was off on my pick.
Well, if they had one more stop on that third down, he was going to get the opportunity to tie it.
Mm-hmm.
They would probably only have to go 20 yards to get to the 50.
That's right. And that would have been my 60.
And then there's your
68-yard.
68-yard kick.
All right, so I have a feeling I know who Nate is picking. He's going to pick the Cowboys by 1 point.
Yes, sir. Here
Okay.
we go, Cowboys.
All right. Do you have a player that we need to keep an eye on?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
His number 73 or 74 for the other team. His name is what's the big kid?
Dexter Lawrence.
Make sure Dexter Lawrence.
No, he's not 73.
Control Dexter Lawrence.
He's 97.
97.
Yep.
Yes.
Dexter Lawrence the third.
So your pick to click
is to keep him from making.
Would be the combination of
Don't let
Cooper Beebe, Tyler Smith, and Zach Martin. Okay. The interior offensive line.
We
your
need to
pick
rush
click.
for 100 yards from the interior of the line, and that means we have dominated.
By the way, Jerry Jones
That's my pick
said this morning he does not expect Dalvin Cook to play Thursday night. Just that little breaking news from his interview this morning.
Mick, you did not catch that?
I only had an opportunity to listen to three quarters of it. 3/3.
That must have been at the end.
Because you know the fans are calling for him.
It was at the end.
I had to explain to someone at work last night that, okay, it's a short week. Typically, you're going with what you got.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he wouldn't even have a chance to
and
full
by the way,
padded practice.
Right. That's what I told him, is that they don't practice this week. So what about last week? Did he practice last week? Yes, but it's still
sort of.
If they didn't elevate him for the last game, they're likely not doing it for this game.
Well, if they don't,
because there weren't any injuries.
If they don't let him practice with the first or second team,
right,
he's not getting elevated.
Yeah, you're not running the plays in practice.
Right.
So, okay, Mickey, how about you?
I'm not picking them to win until they win.
Bum ba dum bum. I came in here thinking the same thing.
What's the score, Mick?
I came in here thinking the same thing, that I'm not going to pick the Cowboys to win. And then I looked across the table here at Nate, and I don't know that I can walk out of here without picking the Cowboys to win. So
I'm going to take Divine Singletary.
So what's your score?
Yeah.
21-19.
Who is your pick to click for the Cowboys?
If there is a pick to click for the Cowboys,
you're not ringing with confidence here.
It is going to be Trayvon Diggs.
Trayvon Diggs, your pick to click. That means he gets a pick.
That's right.
Okay.
At least one.
Okay. I've picked the Cowboys to win 23-20, I think, every week this season.
You have, and it was both of us last week.
And so I'm going with 23-20 again until I get it right. I'm going with 23-20.
Because my 28-17 the week before.
And here's my pick to click.
Out, so who's it?
CeeDee Lamb.
Right.
CeeDee Lamb is my pick to click. What do you think about that, Nate?
I love it. And I'm changing mine to CeeDee Lamb pick to click with 115 yards and 1 TD.
Okay.
Yeah, because he that's my guy. I don't just give up on a guy because he make a mistake. I've made 1,000, so he got now 998 more to make.
And he's heard all this talk about the guy on the Giants team from LSU who's lighting it up, and he's also heard he's heard a talk about him the last game and his frustration and so forth. So I think it's a big bounce back game for CeeDee Lamb in this game. And by the way, Malik Neighbors is from
I was just going to ask.
Lafayette. He was born in Lafayette, Louisiana.
So
went to Youngsville, Louisiana. So they're both
Louisiana boys.
That's right. So anyway, that's what I'm going with.
Me and you both.
All right. Very good. All right. Any final comments before you take off for Jersey? Well, you have a tie on, by the way.
I've got all this TV to do, and once I put it on, it's like I'm not taking it off, having to tie it again and do it again, and so I just left.
Do you wear a tie on the charter?
No, we don't. They don't wear suit and tie on the. Maybe that's what's got to change. Got to dress like it's a business trip.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't you guys have to wear coat and tie?
Yeah.
To the stadium too.
Yeah, it don't matter, man. We were three and whatever with suit and ties.
So it didn't change from Landry to Jimmy, the attire?
Nah, so it didn't change, and
it didn't change with Garrett either.
Yeah, so the record. We only difference was we just choked a little bit more on the plane coming home. All them losses, no food,
no food at that Washington game, right?
It's okay though. Soft bill, baby. I'm sticking to what I believed at the beginning. Soft bill.
All right,
get some more players.
Yep,
more players.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
with the right attitude.
So.
Did y'all get Everson's pick to click?
Oh, yeah. Whoa. Did we get it?
I don't
he didn't send anything in.
He didn't?
Unless it just came in.
Yeah, we need to get. I think the producer Supreme wanted to go get some lunch, but we holding him up.
Okay, all right. We'll let producer Supreme go get lunch. Enjoy the game on Thursday night. A Cowboys victory, 23-20, and we will chat at you again on Friday at noon here on Mick Shots.
Go Cowboys! Go, go, go!
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!